What if the masterpiece in your family's private collection wasn't art, but evidence? When a painting is stolen, the investigation uncovers a 40-year-old secret, and now someone is willing to kill to keep it buried. The Van Allen family prided themselves on their private art collection. Housed in a wing of their sprawling estate, the gallery was a point of pride and a source of envy in the community. The collection included everything from Renaissance sketches to modern sculptures, but the centerpiece was a painting known as The Silent Witness, a moody, abstract canvas that had hung in the family for as long as anyone could remember. On the night of the annual charity gala, the estate was filled with guests, laughter, and the clink of champagne glasses. Security was tight, but the next morning, chaos erupted. The Silent Witness was gone. The alarm had never sounded, and there were no signs of forced entry. The police were called, and the family was questioned. The theft made headlines, and rumors swirled about an inside job. But as the investigation began, the family's matriarch, Eleanor, seemed more anxious than angry. She called her grandchildren, Alex, the responsible one, Julia, the artist, and Max, the black sheep, into her study. That painting was never just art. It was evidence. And now, someone will do anything to get it back. The siblings were stunned. Eleanor explained that The Silent Witness had been acquired by her late husband Charles in the 1980s. He'd always been secretive about its origins, insisting it never leave the estate. After his death, Eleanor discovered a hidden compartment in the frame, but she'd never dared open it. Now, with the painting gone, the family realized the theft was no ordinary heist. The police found no fingerprints, no security footage, no ransom note. But Julia, ever the artist, remembered something odd. The painting's signature was a fake. She'd noticed it as a child, but her grandfather had brushed her off. Alex and Max searched the gallery for clues. They found a scrap of canvas near the empty frame, with a single word written in faded ink: confess. The siblings realized the painting was hiding something worth killing for. The investigation took a dark turn when the family's longtime security chief, Mr. Harris, was found dead in his apartment. The police ruled it a heart attack, but Alex noticed bruises on his arms and a missing set of keys. Julia found a note in his desk. They know. Protect the secret. The siblings began to suspect that the thief was someone close to the family, someone who knew the estate's layout and the painting's true value. Max, who had always felt like an outsider, wondered if he was being set up. He'd argued with Mr. Harris the night of the gala, and now the police were asking questions. Eleanor grew more fearful, insisting the family stay together. This isn't about money. It's about survival. The siblings realized they were in danger, and the only way to protect themselves was to uncover the truth behind the painting. Julia, determined to solve the mystery, visited the artist who had supposedly painted The Silent Witness. The man, now elderly and living in seclusion, denied ever creating the piece. "That's not my work, but I remember your grandfather. He was desperate to hide something." Back at the estate, Max found an old journal belonging to Charles. The entries were cryptic, filled with references to a deal gone wrong and a witness who must remain silent. Alex pieced together the timeline. In 1983, Charles was involved in a business scandal that ended with a man's disappearance. The painting arrived at the estate soon after. The siblings realized the painting's hidden compartment must contain evidence, documents, photos, maybe even a confession. But with the painting gone, the secret was in someone else's hands. The police focused on the staff, but the siblings suspected the truth was closer to home. Max accused Alex of orchestrating the theft to cover up the family's crimes. Julia suspected their cousin Peter, who had always resented being left out of the inheritance. Tensions rose as the family turned on each other. Eleanor, frail but determined, insisted they work together. "If we don't find the painting, we're all at risk." The siblings agreed to set aside their differences and search for clues. They discovered that Peter had been in debt to a local crime syndicate. The night of the gala, he'd been seen arguing with a stranger in the garden. Julia found a receipt for a storage unit rented in Peter's name. The siblings decided to investigate. The storage unit was on the edge of town, in a row of anonymous metal doors. Alex picked the lock while Max kept watch. Inside, they found the painting, wrapped in plastic, the frame intact. Julia carefully opened the hidden compartment, revealing a stack of old photographs, a cassette tape, and a signed confession from Charles. The confession detailed a cover-up. Charles had witnessed a murder in 1983, and the painting was used to smuggle evidence out of the country. The victim's family had been searching for proof ever since. The siblings realized the theft was not about art, but about justice. As they left the unit, a car screeched to a halt outside. Two masked men jumped out, guns drawn. "Hand over the painting," one demanded. The siblings froze, realizing the danger was far from over. Thinking quickly, Max threw the painting into the back seat and slammed the car door. Julia hit the alarm on her phone, triggering a GPS alert to the police. Alex grabbed a fire extinguisher from the wall and sprayed the attackers, buying them precious seconds to escape. They sped away, hearts pounding, the painting safe for now. Julia called Eleanor, who urged them to go to the police. But Max hesitated. "If we turn this over, the whole family will be dragged through the mud," he said. Alex argued that the truth had to come out no matter the cost. The siblings hid the painting in a friend's art studio, then met with the detective they trusted. They handed over the evidence, hoping it would end the nightmare. The police launched a new investigation, using the confession and photos to reopen the 1983 murder case. The victim's family was finally given answers, and the crime syndicate that had threatened the Van Allens was exposed. The media descended on the estate, and the family's reputation was shattered. Eleanor gave a tearful interview, apologizing for her husband's actions and vowing to make amends. The siblings faced public scrutiny, but also relief. The secret was finally out. Peter was arrested for his role in the theft, but the siblings forgave him, understanding the pressure he'd been under. The family began to heal, united by the ordeal. With the case closed, the Van Allens sold the estate and donated the proceeds to the victim's family. The art collection was auctioned off, with the exception of The Silent Witness, which was given to a museum as a symbol of justice. The siblings went their separate ways, but stayed close. Julia became an advocate for art crime victims, Alex started a foundation for whistleblowers, and Max found peace in a quiet life away from the spotlight. Eleanor passed away, content that the truth had been revealed. The family's legacy was no longer of secrets, but of courage to redemption. Years later, Julia visited the museum where The Silent Witness hung in a place of honor. She read the plaque, which told the story of the painting's true purpose. Visitors marveled at the art, but Julia knew the real masterpiece was the truth it had hidden for so long. She smiled, knowing her family had finally broken free from the past. The Van Allens were no longer defined by secrets, but by the courage to face them. If you believe in the power of truth and justice, share this story with someone who needs hope. What would you do if your family's prized possession was evidence in a decades-old crime? Let us know in the comments below.